What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
This is the OPS pregame report.
We are live from Homestead High School as we get set for tonight's boys basketball SAC matchup between the Homestead Spartans and Southside Archers. Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Matt Saalfrank alongside Anthony Gary, who's filling in for Chris Kohrman tonight, and sideline reporter Jenna Lane, as we are about 12 minutes away from tip-off of tonight's matchup. And Anthony, last time we saw this Homestead team in action was last Saturday when they took on the North Central Panthers at home, and after a slow first few minutes, Homestead used a 36-13 run in the first half to take a big lead going into halftime and coasted to an 80-65 win over the Panthers.
Homestead played a great game against Northside, easily one of the best we've seen all season by the Spartans, and the side of the ball that the Spartans have really excelled at is their rebounding. Homestead out-rebounded North Central by 14, which led to 11 more second-chance points. But you cannot talk about Homestead's success without talking about their free throw shooting. Homestead is 81% from the line so far this season. That ranks number 2 in the state.
And junior Grant Simmons had a terrific game, putting up a career-high 32 points. He was 12 of 19 from the field and knocked down 5 triples.
Simmons was the star of the offensive side of the ball last Saturday. Not only did he put up 32 points, he also had 6 offensive rebounds, which is a season high for any player on Homestead this season.
Grant Simmons, a great game against North Central over the weekend, and out of the 80 points scored by Homestead, 76 of them came from their top 3 scorers. Grant Simmons had a career-high 32, Luke Goody added 26, and Fletcher Lawyer rounded out the top-scoring trio with 18 points.
These 3 have had an exceptional season so far. You can't say anything less than that. And you cannot forget about Andrew Leeper. Although he has not done as much offensive as last year, he has shown himself on defense as well, leading the team in blocks per game. Overall, Lawyer, Simmons, Goody, and Leeper are 1, 2, 3, 4 in almost every single stat category imaginable.
Yeah, Luke Goody, another double-double for Homestead, I believe his 5th of the season. And after the win over North Central on Saturday, Homestead jumped ahead of Carmel in the Sagarin computer rankings and are now number 1 in the state. At number 3 in the state is Blackhawk Christian, a team that Homestead will see right here on Tuesday. Also in the top 5 is Lawrence North, a team that Homestead will play in just a few weeks on Saturday, January 23rd.
This final month of the season will be a test on the Spartans, players and coaches alike. As seen on the Sagarin rankings, Homestead has to play 2 undefeated teams over the course of the next few weeks. This will definitely be a huge physicality test for both players and coaches.
Yeah, and Carmel and Westfield, they actually play each other tomorrow, so that could be an interesting one to look at. And we're just getting started here in the pregame report. Still ahead, we'll take a look at the visiting Archers, break down the SAC standings, and preview what to expect in today's game. We'll be right back.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Here at Homestead High School Media, we're taking steps to stay safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. That includes limiting the number of workers in the TV studio and wearing masks when not on camera. We also socially distance our anchors each week at the news desk. In the studios, we limit the number of people allowed in at a time, and even our mics wear masks. Thank you for doing your part in helping fight COVID-19. This is the OPS pregame report.
Welcome back to the OPS pregame show as we get closer to tip-off of tonight's boys basketball matchup between the Homestead Spartans and Southside Archers. I'm Matt Saalfrank calling your play-by-play, and Anthony Gary is filling in for Chris Kohrman tonight as your color commentator. Now, Anthony, let's take a look at Homestead's opponent today, the Southside Archers. They're 3-4 on the season, but those 4 losses are coming by an average of 5.5 points. And Southside enters the game ranked as the 5th best team in the SAC according to the Saalfrank computer ratings, but have by far the worst strength of schedule in the conference with a rank of 151 in the state, and the next closest SAC team at 78 is Northrop Bruins.
Southside has had a little bit of trouble closing out their games. Obviously, their average, like you just said, is 5.5 points. They've been unable to come back late in the game, and they have been unable to hold on to a lead. So that is definitely not what Southside wants. And their schedule doesn't help their cause at all, because by far they have the worst schedule in the SAC. So they've got to win these big games.
Yeah, the numbers on the right were the strength of schedule, and the other numbers were the record in conference. And Anthony, Southside led by really 2 star players in Austin Jordan and Ashton Johnson.
Ashton Johnson has had a long career at Southside. In fact, he's just 23 points away from 450 in his career, and his career high is 24 points. So we do have potential to see him hit that 450 mark today.
Yeah, Austin Jordan, 14 points per game. Johnson, 18.7 points per game. 2 really solid players for the Southside Archers. And tonight in the SAC, the girls-boys doubleheader is missing quite a few games. First, looking at the girls' games tonight, obviously the one that everyone circles each year is missing with the Southside Archers in quarantine. The annual showdown with Homestead, which would be taking place right at this moment, is postponed until January 28th, but still some other interesting matchups on the girls' side of the SAC tonight.
And it's too bad that the Homestead and Southside didn't get a chance to face off in that sectional rematch this week, but it's good. They'll be playing in a couple of weeks. Both teams have something to prove in that matchup, so it's important that both teams have their full roster to get the true feel of who is the better team.
And you look at that Dwenger at Carroll girls game, and that should be a pretty good one. And now looking at the boys matchups tonight, there are only 2 other games with Lures and Dwenger forced to quarantine, meaning their opponents, the Concordia Cadets and Carroll Chargers, do not play tonight. But we do have 3 total boys games. Experts think 2 of these won't be close, but that Wayne and Northside game could go down to the wire.
Tonight, both Wayne and Northrop have something to prove as they're each vying for their first win of the season in their matchups tonight. They're looking for something to prove, getting their win, putting their name on the map, and still trying to keep themselves in contention for possibly an SAC title later in the season.
And you look at that Wayne at Northside game, Anthony, that could be a really close one. You know, Northside, they have a few solid players. Bronte Johnson, one of their top players, and then Wayne, also a decent team. Snyder at Northrop could be good. We'll see what the Panthers are able to do tonight. Then this one, Southside at Homestead, just a good matchup.
Yeah, this matchup tonight, it's going to be a real test of physicality. Homestead, the heavy favorites going into this game. The Southside, you cannot count them out. They have the speed, and as you said, all their losses, they've been close. So if they can keep this game close and be able to finish out this game, they could actually have a shot at pulling off the miraculous upset over the #1 team in the state.
Yeah, Homestead ranked #1 in the Saalfrank computer ratings, which come out every week. It was through last Saturday, so the games this week will not be counted, but I believe in a few days after Saturday's games, we'll have the updated Saalfrank ratings for this week. But Homestead, they're ranked 3rd in Class 4A, and they're 4th in the coaches poll. 11-0 overall, 2-0 in the SAC, which is tied for first. Looking at Homestead as a school, they're currently in Class 4A, which is the largest class. The enrollment is 2,424, which was based on last school year. They are the 20th largest high school in Indiana, based on enrollment out of 403 IHSAA eligible schools. Their first year of boys basketball was 1970-71 season. Looking at all-time tournament history, 11 sectional championships, 2 regional championships, 1 semi-state, and 1 state back in 2015. Their record is 69-49 in the postseason, good for a 58% win percentage. And Southside, they're 3-4 overall on the season. They have had quite a few close losses. Looking at December 29th, they lost by 1 point to Mishawaka Marion. Tomorrow they take on the Marion Giants, Anthony, a team that Homestead played not too long ago when Fletcher Lawyer put up his 50 points.
Yeah, that Marion game, Fletcher Lawyer, he really performed. I guess we'll get our true comparison tonight, but I guess we'll get a secondary comparison in the Marion versus Southside game later in the season.
Some of the top players for Southside: Ashton Johnson, 18.7 points per game. Austin Jordan, 14 points per game. And Jalen Lattimore, averaging 8.3 points per game. All of those players are starting tonight for the Southside Archers. I'm excited, Anthony. It's going to be a good game. You see Luke Goody warming up there as both teams excited. You know, Southside warming up. It's just great to have a boys basketball matchup tonight.
Although there might not be fans, you can feel the energy here in the arena tonight. Both teams, again, Homestead getting ready for their great matchups, and Southside saying, hey, don't look ahead just yet. You can't count us out. We are here to upset you tonight.
Southside is a team that lost their top 2 scorers to graduation. Travion Jones averaged 17.3 points per game, and Cameron Mitchell averaged 13.9 points per game last season. So the Archers needing to replace some of their top scoring talent from last season. I think they've done a nice job with it, with Ashton Johnson, Austin Jordan, Jalen Lattimore. They have quite a few solid players that could pose a threat to the Homestead offense, but the Spartans, they've been solid all year, led by Fletcher Lawyer, averaging 24.3 points per game. That's first on the team. Second on the team, Luke Goody, 19.5 points per game. And third, you have Grant Simmons, who put up a career-high 32 points on Saturday against North Central. And you talked about it earlier, Anthony, even someone like Andrew Leeper, who's averaging only 8 points a game. His defense has been really solid this year for Homestead.
Yeah, Andrew Leeper, again, as I said earlier, he is the defensive it factor for Homestead. He's underneath the basket, getting those blocks, getting the defensive plays that count. He's even doing well in the steal margin. Andrew Leeper, he's definitely a player, although he's not typically the one to shoot the ball. He's always an option underneath the basket.
We talked about Homestead, Sagarin, they're number 1 in the state. Southside, they're 109th in the state, 62nd in 4A and 5th in the SAC, but their strength of schedule, 151 in the state. So I think after this game, that'll jump up quite a bit, playing the number 1 ranked team in the Sagarin ratings. But a conference matchup coming between Southside, who's 1-1 in the SAC, and Homestead, who's 2-0 in the SAC. Even though it's still early in the conference, these games matter quite a bit, as Homestead still has to face Snyder and Carroll coming up, and we're about to get set for tip-off. Homestead is looking to keep their winning streak alive in a conference clash. Tip-off and starting lineups are next. It's Homestead versus Southside coming up.
Here at Homestead High School Media, we're taking steps to stay safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. That includes limiting the number of workers in the TV studio and wearing masks when not on camera. We also socially distance our anchors each week at the news desk. In the studios, we limit the number of people allowed in at a time, and even our mics wear masks. Thank you for doing your part in helping fight COVID-19.
It's basketball night in the SAC. The 11-0 Spartans are coming off a big win over North Central and hoping to add another team to the list. Southside looking to stir up the top of the conference.
Lawyer takes another three-pointer. Got it again!
It's Southside at Homestead.
Welcome back live to Homestead High School as we get set for tonight's conference matchup between the Southside Archers and Homestead Spartans. I'm Matt Saalfrank alongside Anthony Gary, and 11 games down, and Homestead remains undefeated. Southside looking to put a blemish on Homestead's record. The third conference clash of the season, it's Southside and Homestead. In the SAC, Homestead, Carroll, Snyder tied for first with 2 wins each. Southside dead middle looking to shake up the top 3.
again, like we said earlier before the commercial break, Homestead, Southside, this has potential to be a really good matchup. Southside trying to make a move up in the rankings. If they can get to a 2-1 record with an outright win over Homestead, they actually jump ahead of Homestead in the rankings. So definitely something they're looking to do this game, pull off the crazy upset.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Matt Saalfrank alongside Anthony Gary, filling in for Chris Kohrman and the sideline reporter Jenna Lane as we're about to get set for tip-off of tonight's matchup. And Homestead comes into tonight's game undefeated this season with impressive wins over several ranked teams. Head coach Chris Johnson in his 22nd season in the Spartan program couldn't be more excited to see where future Big Ten stars Fletcher Lawyer and Luke Goody take the team this season. As for the Southside Archers and Coach J.J. Foster, who's in his 4th year at Southside after spending 4 years at Bishop Luers. For those who don't know this, J.J. Foster is actually a Homestead graduate and one of the better basketball players that's ever come through Homestead. He's actually the all-time steals leader in a career at Homestead with 165. Anthony, I'm sure Coach Foster loves coming back to his alma mater, but maybe not so much tonight knowing who he has to face.
Yeah, this coach is definitely going to be some motivation behind this game. You always want to get a chance to face off against your alma mater. It's definitely going to be an exciting game, and Southside, they're going to have to play with passion this game.
Let's now look at the starting lineups for Homestead. It'll be Fletcher Lawyer, Caleb Colpine, Luke Goody, Andrew Leeper, and Grant Simmons. And for Southside, it'll be Jalen Lattimore. I guess real quickly looking at the officials, James Payne, Mike Johnson, Alex Childers. Getting set for tip-off. Other starters for Southside, Austin Jordan, Keith King, and Ashton Johnson. Homestead wins the opening tip. Fletcher Lawyer over to Goody. Now to Simmons, who put up a career-high 32 points on Saturday against North Central. He really had a good game, Anthony. Now Lawyer. Top of the key, Simmons. Goody. It's off the mark, tipped around. Offensive board for the Spartans.
And that right there is where Homestead has been improving and just played really well on those offensive rebounds.
Two-pointer by Leeper. Now Southside with possession. Some really solid players. Keith King fires in that 3, and it's no good. We have a whistle. Foul on Grant Simmons. Some keys to the game. What are they, Anthony?
The keys to the game for Homestead are to avoid foul trouble and continue having good fall movement. And then Southside's biggest key to the game in this one is to shut down Fletcher Lawyer and Luke Goody on offense.
Here's Johnson, leading scorer. Can't get the bounce on that. Homestead out on the attack. Colpine underneath scores. What a nice pass from Lawyer. It's 4-0 Homestead.
Lawyer with the assist right there. He's averaging 4.5 on the season. Team's leading assister.
And Caleb Colpine, someone that did not score against North Central, but only 3 players did. And 76 of them came from 3 players. Leeper had 4, but Goody, Simmons, and Lawyer combined for 76 points on Saturday against North Central. Johnson takes another 3-pointer. Short. Push underneath going on Southside. Derek Rue picks up his first. Travel called as Southside gets another possession, still looking for their first point of this game. They normally average 63.9 points per game on the season.
Homestead's a team that doesn't turn the ball over very much. One of the best in the state at not turning over the ball.
Johnson couldn't find Lattimore. Miscommunication for the Archers. Turnover.
And on the flip side right there, Homestead, they do force a lot of turnovers. Another one right there to start this game off.
4-0 Homestead early on, 5:36 to go in the first quarter. Leaper in the corner, over to Goody. Fade away, that's good. Luke Goody, his first basket of the game. Goody, someone coming off a 26-point game against North Central on Saturday, one of his best games of the season. His career high is 34, which was earlier this season against Indianapolis Cathedral in a double overtime win. Homestead 6-0 early on. Colping, Goody, and Leaper all with 2 points. No one has scored yet for Southside. Jordan in the corner, 3-ball. That's good. Austin Jordan gives Southside their first point of the game.
Southside's already attempted 3 threes. Homestead has attempted none, which is surprising because they shoot 39% from the three-point line so far this season.
Colpeen spins out. Southside comes away with it, a chance to tie the game with a 3 here. Jordan behind his back. Southside 3-4 on the season, but those losses coming by an average of 5.5 points a game. Jordan attacks the basket. Another bucket for Austin Jordan. He's up to 5 points, and it's a 1-point game.
Austin Jordan's coming back this season off an injury from last season, missing all of it. He seems to be back this season in a big way, leading this Archers team.
Jordan averages 14 points per game as Goody misses the shot there. Fight for the rebound, controlled by Rue. 6-5 Homestead. 3:50 to go in the first. Thanks for joining us. 3-ball no good. And the Southside team, they love to shoot their 3-ball, but only average about 32% from 3 on the season. As Southside commits another foul against Lattimore. Lattimore, very good football player for the Archers, transferred from Snyder a few years ago. Floyer. I mean, he's shooting 49% from 3 on the season, gets it there. Just unbelievable what he's doing, Anthony, this season.
Yeah, especially in his threes are coming exceptionally well from those corners. He's shooting 50% going into this game just from where he shot in the left corner.
That was his 41st three-pointer made of the season, and he's shooting 49% on those. That's just amazing what he can do. Some ball movement for the Archers. Another three-pointer, a wedgie! We have a wedgie, ladies and gentlemen. It's free now.
That is something you do not see every day.
Get the replay. There it is.
One of the most beautiful occurrences that can happen in a basketball game.
Steal by Goody. Southside averages 12.1 turnovers per game on the season. That's one right there. Leaper is fouled. Again, if that's on Lattimore, that's his second.
Not a position you want to be in if you're Southside. Lattimore, one of the fastest players on this team, not someone you want fouling out or even being in foul trouble.
That's Lattimore's second personal and the team's third. Leaper knocks down that free throw now with 3 points. Leaper now 9 of 12 from the line in the season. Averages 8.4 points per game. He's 6'5" junior for Homestead. This is that one. The rebound to Lattimore. 10-5 Homestead, 2:47 to go in this first quarter. Lattimore the shot, gets it to go. His first basket of the game. The Southside hanging around. We saw Homestead go on a big run though against North Central. 17-0 at one point was their run after they trailed by 4 points early on in the first quarter. Underneath Goody. Goes up with it, he's fouled.
Southside trying to play a zone defense on Homestead, trying to not allow any shots from the perimeter. As like we said earlier, Homestead's 39% from the three-point line. However, that is leading to shots being available underneath the basket, just like right there.
Fourth team foul of the game for the Archers, the first on Keith King. Underneath Goody. Out to the Lawyer in the corner. Misses. Rebound Colpeen. Out to an open Simmons at the free throw line, short. Homestead fighting for another rebound. Tipped around, finally controlled by the Archers. Jordan across half court. Behind his back. Shot blocked out of bounds, staying with Southside. Good defensive play by Kohrman on that replay.
That last sequence on the offense by Homestead, shooting was not it, but they were getting their offensive rebounds as they have been all season. Grant Simmons was doing it against North Central, and now everybody is doing it for Homestead tonight.
Johnson, number 23 in green, one of the top players to watch in this game, as Rue is swatted and Homestead comes away with it. And Anthony, look at this Homestead team. They're 11-0 on the season, 2-0 in the SAC. This is a big game for them. If they want to stay in the conference race, I mean, I know they've only played 2 games, but still every game is so important in the SAC.
Especially when you're playing a top 5 SAC team.
Leaper is on fire again. Another basket now with 5 points. Already one more than he had all of last game, and there's still 1:10 to go in this first quarter. 12-7, Homestead leading.
Leaper's presence on defense has shown up today. He already has a steal and a block. So far, he's the team's leading blocker.
Quinn Harmon and Caden Kopwicki come in for Caleb Kolpin and Andrew Leaper, as Kyron Kopwicki also set to check in. For Grant Simmons, some more subs. Manning checks in for Southside, along with Rembert. Southside takes on Marion tomorrow.
Instead, leaving their leading scorers in Fletcher Lawyer and Luke Goody.
.55 seconds to go in the first quarter. Lawyer, another 3-ball off the rim. Stolen away by Kyron Kopwicki out of Harmon. Goes up with it, he's blocked by Johnson. Caden Kopwicki wanted to fake it, but took an extra step there, as that's a turnover on Homestead, a travel. Southside ball, 42 seconds to go in this first quarter.
Homestead might be in a little trouble if Fletcher Lawyer's not able to knock down the 3 in the spots he's most familiar with. He's already missed 2.
Foul on Homestead as Jordan went to the basket. Foul on Caden Kopwicki. That's his first personal foul on the team's second. So 2 free throws coming for Austin Jordan. 11 of 19 in the line this season, 58%. Misses that one right there. Jordan has 5 points out of the team's 7. That free throw. Now 6 points for Austin Jordan.
Southside showing a press.
Homestead wisely using no shot clock to their advantage. You know, Anthony, the no shot clock in the state of Indiana. So Homestead can just hold it here to end this first quarter.
Trying to get a last-second shot. Let's see who they give it to. Probably either Lawyer or Goody.
7 seconds. Goody with it for Homestead. 3 seconds, Goody. Harmon, a 3-pointer. That's good! Quinn Harmon's in the first quarter. Knocks down a 3-pointer for the Homestead Spartans. They take a 15-8 lead heading into the second quarter. We'll be back after this.
Here at Homestead High School Media, we're taking steps to stay safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. That includes limiting the number of workers in the TV studio and wearing masks when not on camera. We also socially distance our anchors each week at the news desk. In the studios, we limit the number of people allowed in at a time, and even our mics wear masks. Thank you for doing your part in helping fight COVID-19.
High School Hoops on Homestead Live is made possible by Fort Wayne Orthopedics and Optimum Performance Sports. Visit a clinic today or log on to OptimumPerformanceSports.com for more info. And it's been 6 years since the Spartans won the school's first ever state championship. After trailing by 10 midway through the fourth quarter, the Spartans rallied to send the game to overtime, where they won by 91-90 over number 1 Evansville Rights, and finishing their season with a school record 29 wins and only 2 losses. The Spartans have state title aspirations again this year, and Anthony, it feels like they have a legitimate chance this year.
Well, with this core that they have, Fletcher Lawyer, Luke Goody especially, both Big Ten recruits, they have shown up. They have shown why they are the #1 team in the state according to Sagarin rankings.
Lawyer knocks down that 2 to start this second quarter. Lawyer has 5 points early on, 17-8 Homestead lead. As Southside, they've hung with Homestead most of that first quarter.
Homestead's style of play is just so unique. They just pass it around. They like to pass it around and just beat down their opponent until they get an open shot, or even now, they just like to go on the quick transitions.
The last play, Southside turned it over, offensive foul by Ashton Johnson as Lawyer took a dive. Here you see Lawyer cutting. And if you're Southside, this is the player you don't want to foul, as Lawyer is now 44-45 at the free throw line this season.
He's the #1 free throw shooter in the country, shooting 98% from the line. It's just incredible what he's been able to do from the line this season. It's something we've never seen at Homestead, and definitely not seen like in recent years.
The foul was on Rembert as Lawyer gets his second. The 6'4" junior got that one. 7 points early on for Fletcher Lawyer as Homestead an 11-point lead. They led 15-8 after the first quarter. Manning drives in on Kyron Kopwicki. Foul underneath as Homestead coaches can't believe it.
The few fans that are here, the parents of the Homestead team, were not happy with that call.
Kyron Kopwicki picks up the foul. That's his first and the team's third. Jordan with the ball for Southside now. Down by 11 points. Pulls up on Kopwicki and sinks it. 3 ball by Jordan. 9 points early on for Austin Jordan, really carrying this team. Only their basket scored by Jalen Lattimore. A lot of passing for Homestead. Lawyer, the floater, it's good. Fletcher Lawyer, 9 points. Now for Homestead.
Austin Jordan's season high so far this season's 22 points, already on pace to beat that with 9 points so far in this game.
Jordan again. Spin on Caden Kopwicki. Three-second violation as Jordan had nowhere to go. Another turnover on Southside. Goody into the paint, off the glass, and he's fouled. That's the 7th team foul on Southside, so the rest of the way Homestead's in the 1-1.
Homestead is just so good at forcing fouls and they're able to make their free throws too. It's definitely a huge factor to their game. They're 81% from the line.
Goody gets that one to go. His 3rd point of the game. That foul was on Rembert for Southside. That's his 2nd and the team's 7th. Lattimore in, who also has 2 personal fouls, who has scored 2 points. Goody the 2nd. That's good again. 4 points for Luke Goody. Averages 19.5 per game, while averaging 9.1 rebounds and 5.3 assists. 5 double-doubles this season for Luke Goody. Scored 20 points in 3 of the last 4 games, so playing well as of recently. Has 5 20-plus point games overall this season. As Ashton Johnson gets his first basket of the game, the team's leading scorer for Southside, knocked out of bounds, staying with the Homestead Spartans.
Surprising how quiet Ashton Johnson's been in this game so far. He's the team's leading scorer. He shoots 51% from the field, and it's surprising that he hasn't been given the ball more, as those were his first 2 points of the game.
Yeah, I mean, Johnson, really a great player, 18.7 points per game. Team's leading scorer, 51% from the field and 47% from 3. As Goody takes a 3 of his own and gets it to go. Luke Goody, a 3 ball for the Spartans. 7 points now.
Luke Goody from that position on the court has taken 22 shots, now 23, and has made 11 of them.
Johnson off again as Southside struggling to shoot the ball in this game. Harmon, left corner 3 ball. It's missed.
That shot almost another wedgie.
Jordan, he's really been on fire this game. Anthony now 11 points for Southside.
Austin Jordan definitely on pace to beat his record. He has all but 4 points for Southside as Luke Goody knocks down another 3.
Luke Goody with 10 points now for Homestead. It's a 29-15 Homestead lead. 3 ball, it's way off by Jordan. Out of bounds going to Homestead as Simmons, Leeper, and Kolping back in for Homestead as Rue checks in for the Archers.
Austin Jordan maybe getting a little bit too fancy on that 3 there, airballing it. It seems like he knows what he's done so far today and how he's the only person really scoring for Southside.
I think that was more of a heat check for him as he's been on fire. Was off on that 3 balls. Homestead with possession again. This boys basketball SAC matchup. Homestead 2-0 in the SAC. Southside 1-1. So we have a foul against Southside. Homestead will be shooting a 1-1.
Fletcher Lawyer's at the line. We can almost immediately assume that he'll make both of these. We can't talk just yet. Still only missed 1 on the season so far.
Lamontrell Manning picks up the foul, his first. Lawyer gets that one to go. That just nothing but net there. Perfect looking free throw as Lawyer's up to 10.
Lawyer, only a junior.
And let's take a minute to talk about Fletcher Lawyer. For those who don't know, he's a transfer from Clarkston High School in Michigan over the summer. He set the school record with 50 points on December 29th at Marion. He passed 1,000 career points against Brownsburg on December 22nd, and the #1 free throw shooter in the nation according to Max Preps based on percentage and, of course, with a minimum number of attempts as Simmons picks up his second personal foul, but Fletcher Lawyer really a great ad for this Homestead team in the offseason.
Simmons so far has been surprisingly quiet this game. 0 points and already 2 fouls. And that another player for Homestead you just don't want fouling out.
Lawyer off on that 3 as Goody underneath scores for Homestead. Now with 12 points, Luke Goody. Offensive foul on Southside. Lawyer steps in there.
And that is not what you want to do if you're Southside. This is almost guaranteed to be a free 2 points now that Lawyer's stepping to the, never mind, it's going to be underneath the basket.
I mean, was a foul as Homestead is in the 1-1. Simmons in and out on that 3. Lawyer scores easily underneath. Fletcher Lawyer with 13 points. Goody with 12.
Homestead has to be out rebounding Southside by like 10 at this point. They've had so many offensive rebounds. Another defensive rebound right there for Goody.
Going the other direction as Simmons not able to get that one.
Looks like that'll be Simmons' 3rd foul, potentially.
I think they got him for a travel right there, as it'll be Southside down by 20 points. It was 15-8 at the end of the first quarter. Homestead up by 7. Right now it's a 20-point Homestead lead. Jordan again to the basket. Does not get the roll, fights for the rebound. As this Homestead team loves to push it out in transition against a team like Southside. Simmons, the open man, misses on the 3. Now the Archers out in transition. Jordan gets the easy layup to go. Now with 13 points, 1 below his season average.
A little bit of hesitation there by Grant Simmons, not wanting to get at that 3rd foul.
Lawyer, another basket for him now with 15 points. Talking more about Fletcher Lawyer, he's scored 16-plus points every game, and based on how he's played so far, it looks like that will continue. He's had 7 20-plus point games this season, 3 30-plus point games this season, also put up 50 points. School record earlier this season has 4 games of 5-plus threes made, and the impressive thing, being one of the main guards in this Homestead team, only 3 games of 3-plus turnovers, so does not turn the ball over very well as Matt Painter and Purdue really have a steal in Lawyer. Southside other end. Johnson gets the roll. Second basket of the game. Now with 4.
Referee timeout.
Wipe off the ball.
Maybe checking to see if it's deflated. You know, it's about that time of year.
Lawyer gets it into Goody. Pulls up on Johnson. Again for Luke Goody, another 3-ball. Comes into this game shooting 39% beyond the arc. Now with 15 points, matching his teammate Fletcher Lawyer. So 30 of the 40 points have been scored by Goody and Lawyer for Homestead. As Southside looking for something to end this first half, it's been all Spartans in the second quarter.
Jordan trying to get something going.
Travel against Lattimore. The Southside team has some talent, but against Homestead, you basically have to play a perfect game or else you're probably going to lose as Homestead 11-0 on the season.
It's like Southside, they were playing pretty good defense in the first quarter, but that has just completely shifted as Homestead is eating it up on offense. Lawyer and Goody have just taken off in this second quarter.
Johnson and Lattimore to the bench as Manning and Rimbert in for Southside. Goody slams it for Homestead. A slam dunk by Luke Goody. Went up with it, and now 17 points for the future Illini.
Homestead has taken control of this game. They have all the momentum in the world right now.
Rebound underneath, fought for. That was Manning, who was able to get the shot up. His first basket of the game. And the fourth Archer to score. Goody, he checked there, missed the three-pointer. 42-21 lead for Homestead as out of bounds turnover on Southside. Jordan couldn't hang on to it. 57 seconds to go in the second.
Southside has had a little bit of trouble this season deciding who their starters are. They have about 8 guys that rotate in and out of the game, except for Austin Jordan and Aston Johnson are in pretty consistently.
And Lawyer knocks down a 3 at the top of the key, which has not been his strong suit this season, shooting from that position. (45-21). Homestead leading, Lawyer with 18 points. Jordan does not get the shot to go. Other end, Simmons misses the shot. That was a perfect pass from Goody. Out of bounds going to the Archers. 23 seconds to go in the second.
Grant Simmons has been so inconsistent this season. One day he's putting up 32 points, and then the next day he has 2 fouls and with 0 points and missing a wide open layup. You just don't know what you're going to get out of Grant Simmons when you put him on the court.
I mean, still a really good player, though, averaging 13.6 points a game. Yeah, put up 32 last game, but right now his team doing pretty well with him scoring 0, up big. Goody with 3 seconds. Goody drives in. Goody. This is the shot off glass. Leaper tip, no good at the buzzer. 45-21 the score right now as Homestead, a very good first half, up by 24 points right now. A big second quarter from the Spartans led to them getting that big lead over the Southside Archers. And now let's send it down to sideline reporter Jenna Lane, who was with Homestead head coach Chris Johnson.
Thanks, Matt. I'm with head coach Chris Johnson. And coach, you're up by 24 points at the half as offense got a late start in the first quarter. Can you assess your team's play?
Well, I thought in the second quarter especially we moved the ball a lot better. We got open looks. We're making shots, which helps. Defensively, we really picked it up. I mean, we gave up 21 and a half against a high-powered offense. So, we're doing well, but pleased with where we are so far.
Thank you. Matt, back to you.
Thanks, Jenna. At halftime, Homestead leads 45-21 over Southside. When we come back, we'll have first half stats and take a look at some of the headlines in the SAC. Stay tuned. You're watching high school basketball on Homestead Live.
Rethink your limits.
This is the OPS Halftime Report.
And welcome to the OPS Halftime Report as we get a fresh look at stats from the first half as we saw Homestead have a big second quarter, Anthony, now a 45-21 lead at the break. And looking at some of those stats in the first half.
Homestead's just been explosive on the offense, especially in the second quarter. They have 45 points, and again, like Coach Johnson said, they only gave up 21 points on defense, mainly because they've just dominated. They have forced turnovers, and they have caused blocks and steals.
Well, only one turnover for Homestead in that first half. That's pretty impressive. Southside with 9. As 45-21. Some of the stars of that first half. Luke Goody and Fletcher Lawyer, no surprise to see those two having really a good first half as Homestead a big lead at the break over Southside. Now looking at some of those stats, Lawyer with 18 points on 6-9 shooting and Goody 17 points on 6-12 from the field, so both players shooting over 50% in the game.
Fletcher Lawyer has found himself getting to the line where he knows he can make his shots, only missing one free throw on the season. His three-pointing game, although he's 6 for 9, it hasn't been the best. It's not what we've normally seen out of Fletcher Lawyer. I believe he's 2 for 5 on the game so far, but he's just played incredible. Like within the arc too, he's just getting open underneath the basket.
What were some of your takeaways from that first half, Anthony, as we saw Homestead play really well?
I was surprised a little bit by seeing how explosive Homestead's defense is. They were really able to show up. Andrew Leeper just blocking, especially on that last sequence. That was a perfect example of Southside not being able to find the shot on the perimeter and then trying to go underneath, and Andrew Leeper just blocking it away, causing a quick transition. I just think Homestead, they've shown up on defense, and obviously they have shown up on offense. Andrew Leeper has been passing around as well too. You know, he has 5 points. Fletcher Lawyer and Luke Goody, they've all just been explosive on offense and all working together.
So Luke Goody and Fletcher Lawyer combined for 35 of the team's 45 points in the first half. And we still have plenty to talk about in the OPS Halftime Report coming up. We take a look at news in the SAC. Stick around. More basketball action coming up on Homestead Live.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
This is the OPS Halftime Report.
Back to the OPS Halftime Report, and now Anthony, let's get into some of the in the news. What's happening in the SAC as halftime right now? Homestead leading 45-21. Thanks for joining us. Some of the big news in the SAC right now. Game of the year, at least in the area. 2 of the top 4 teams in the coaches poll face off on Tuesday. Number 3 Blackhawk Christian against number 4 Homestead. That's just going to be an amazing game.
Yeah, that game is just going to be incredible. Blackhawk Christian, they want their redemption from last year when Homestead ended up beating them, and this is going to be an insanely good game. Both teams are just excelling so far this season and definitely have something to prove.
Yeah, Blackhawk Christian has a game against Concordia tomorrow. Homestead, they play today, don't play tomorrow. Then that game was on Tuesday. You know, you hope both teams are at full strength. As far as we know, no one out due to quarantine for either of these teams. Final year of Goody versus First Two Friends to AAU teammates and just two really good basketball players in Northeast Indiana.
And on the girls' side, the Carroll Chargers defeated the number 4 Norwell, and they're up to a current win streak of 9 games. And of course, back when they beat Homestead, that was a huge game, giving Homestead their first SAC loss in 5 years.
Yeah, so Norwell, they go down to Carroll. I'm not really surprised by that. I thought for sure Carroll was the better team by quite a bit than Norwell. Off to a great start, Carroll. Still continuing to win now 9 games in a row, and several games postponed, including that Homestead and Southside girls game. A few of the boys games also postponed tonight in the SAC. But that girls Southside game, that'll be a big one coming up in a few weeks to probably decide who ends up winning the conference if it's not Carroll.
If Carroll doesn't end up winning the conference, then it'll probably end up being Southside or Concordia. Although Homestead already beat Concordia on the girls' side, I think Southside, they definitely have a team. That'll be a huge game coming up that's been rescheduled of Homestead versus Southside on January 28th. Definitely going to be a matchup, and if it's not Carroll, then it'll be one of those two teams.
Some of the other games postponed. Lures at Concordia and Carroll at Dwenger. For the boys games, 45-21, Homestead leading over Southside here at Homestead High School. Thanks for joining us here on Homestead Live. Lawyer with 18 points, Goody with 17 points. We're going to take one final break of this halftime show. When we come back, we're going to have the start of the third quarter right after this. Homestead High School, start of the third quarter coming up. I'm Matt Saalfrank alongside Anthony Gary, who's filling in for Chris Kohrman. Shout out to Chris, who's not able to be here tonight, but gonna miss him here on the broadcast, usually the color commentator. But thanks to you, Anthony, for filling in for him tonight.
Yeah, we all miss Chris here at school today. It's all right though. We know he'll be back soon. Definitely gonna be a joy to see his face once again.
Okay, and thanks to sideline reporter Jenna Lane, who caught up with Homestead head coach Chris Johnson right before, or I guess right after the end of the second quarter. Start of the third quarter coming up. I mean, if you're Southside, you need to go on a big run. Homestead a 24-point lead at the break, on pace to put up 90 points if they put up 45 in this half as well.
We'll see if Homestead's able to continue that dominant performance of the second quarter. We've got all their starters in the game.
Some of the predictions in this game. John Harrell had Homestead 78-48. Bounce picked Homestead. Sagarin has Homestead as 28.5-point favorite. In the last 35 years, the series in Homestead's favor, 25-15. So in terms of boys basketball, Homestead has clearly dominated over Southside in series history.
Although Homestead has dominated, it's always just a fun matchup to see. These two teams always play with such great passion and just always just come ready to win, doing whatever it takes to win.
Johnson gets his shot blocked, as it has not been Johnson's game, only 4 points. Underneath, Leaper scores for Homestead. Still probably not where his points would want to be at, as he's now with 7 points, but he's certainly dangerous underneath, and one of the top players in this Homestead team as he completes the and one right there. Sub in.
Problem I've noticed with Southside is they have to stop fouling. If they get into the double-double, or if they get into the bonus, then they get a one-on-one. If Fletcher Lawyer gets fouled and sent to the line with one-on-one, that's 2 free points.
Yeah, as we saw Southside early on in that first half get into some foul trouble as a team. Foul again. Going on Andrew Leeper. That's his first in the team's first of this half.
Austin Jordan just 9 points off of his season high so far. He's got 13 on the game.
Carried it. Turnover on Southside. As Southside had 9 turnovers in that first half. Homestead only 1. That's a big reason why Homestead is dominating as they are so far. In the first quarter, Homestead outscored Southside 15-8. In the second quarter, 30-13. Another foul.
That's just incredible. In the same amount of time, Homestead was able to have double the points. Now Fletcher Lawyer, the dangerous shooter from the free throw line, has made his way home.
That's the third on Rembert, as Lawyer just automatic. I mean, historically one of the all-time great free throw shooters probably in, well, I don't want to say Indiana history. He's only played 11 games, 12 including this one in the state of Indiana, at least on an Indiana high school basketball team, a transfer from Michigan. But one of the best free throw shooters probably in school history, at least the numbers he's putting up so far. He's only missed 1 free throw coming into this game, was 43 of 44, so he's just automatic at the line. Now with 20 points, Fletcher Lawyer. Jordan, left corner.
That is already
Kolpin, the steal. Just lays it in. Kolpin, his second basket of the game now with 4.
As you were saying before that quick steal, this is already Fletcher Lawyer's 8th game with over 20 points in just 12 games.
Yeah, Lawyer first in the nation for free throws by Max Preps, as Goody picks up a foul there. And when we say first, there's a limit, obviously. We're not talking about, 3 for 3 at the line, 100%. We're talking, 20, 30, 40, now probably even close to 50 free throw attempts on the season for Fletcher Lawyer, and only 1 miss. As the free throw is good there by Lattimore, his 3rd point of the game, who has 2 personal fouls.
Lattimore got into foul trouble early in the game. Stayed out of it since the first quarter.
Missed that one. Goody the rebound. As Homestead a 30-point lead now. Knocked out of bounds by Rue. 6'3" junior for Southside, number 4.
If you're Coach Johnson, you just have to be pleased with the way Homestead's playing offensively and defensively. Just not letting Southside get anything on either side of the ball.
Simmons throws it away as Johnson. Free throw line jumper, and that's good. Maybe that'll get Ashton Johnson going. 6 points now for the 6'2" junior guard that leads the team in scoring heading into this game. 18.7 points per game. Now a 6 as Austin Jordan leading Southside with 13 points, 3 in and out. Ripped away by Jordan, other end. To an open Johnson. Now to Jordan. Back to Jordan at the top of the key. 52-24 Homestead leading. 5:11 to go in this 3rd quarter. It's going to be an offensive foul, I believe, on Jalen Lattimore. Push.
Lattimore and Lawyer were getting to a little bit of a scuffle there.
3rd personal on Lattimore. And the 3rd as a team this half. This Homestead team have a big game coming up on Tuesday. So we talked about in the halftime show against Blackhawk Christian, that's really going to be a Very good game. Blackhawk currently ranked #1 in Class 2A, #3 in the coaches poll. Homestead #4 in the coaches poll. Kolpin, another easy lay-in with 6 points now, Caleb Kolpin. And Caleb Kolpin, a senior 6'3" forward for Homestead. 30-second timeout called by Southside. Layup for Kolpin underneath that replay as Homestead 30-point lead.
And Homestead, they just forced Southside. Southside needs this timeout right here. They only have 3 points in the half so far. Homestead already has 9. It's just outscoring and just complete domination by the Spartans early in the second half.
It's typical Homestead basketball so far, continuing in this game. 54 points scored. And I'm pretty sure Coach Johnson not going to keep his starters in the entire game, as he usually doesn't, about midway through the fourth quarter. But this Homestead team, I think, they try to put up 100 points pretty much every game, depending on who they play.
We'll see if earlier in the fourth quarter this time, if Fani Azakuta, Max Shields, Grady Swing, and Luke Markham will get into the game, as they usually come in towards the end of the games.
So out of that timeout, it's Southside ball, and they really do have a lot of two-sport and even more than that, sport athletes. Looking at some of the notable ones, you have Jalen Lattimore, the team's third leading scorer, underneath as Jordan is blocked. Lawyer fakes, takes the shot. Now to Kolpin with Homestead having possession. Lou Goody 17 points as Leaper misses that shot. Talking about for Southside though, Jalen Lattimore, also a football player, very talented, as Jordan now with 15 points. You also look at someone like Keith King, a football player, 6'5" senior for Southside, and also Ashton Johnson, a very good football player at Southside High School. So this Southside team has quite a few football players as well.
Luke Goody just 3 points away from his fourth 20-point game in the last 5. Him and Fletcher Lawyer have just been phenomenal.
Yes, they have. That's what you can expect, though, when Fletcher Lawyer committed to play basketball at Purdue. Only a junior. That three-pointer no good by Rue. Goody the rebound, and Goody, a 6'7" senior forward, signed to play basketball at Illinois. Lawyer from the right baseline. Fletcher Lawyer now with 22 points.
Believe it or not, the right baseline is actually Fletcher Lawyer's second worst area shooting from on the season. Of course, he's only taken 8 attempts from there, as most of his shots are taken either underneath the hoop or from beyond the arc.
As Johnson, a little bit of dribbling. Goody again throws it down. Luke Goody, his second dunk of the game. Up to 19 points, the senior.
At this point, Homestead, they're just having fun. I mean, it's impossible to not have fun when you're just dominating like this, and here we go again.
Goody just lays it in there. I think that was maybe a little bit too soon for another dunk attempt by Goody. You know, got to give him some time.
Yeah,
but now 21 points.
Looked like on that fast break, could have had another one.
Is there anything in your mind, Anthony, that you think Southside can do to get back into this one at all?
Just by the way Homestead's playing and just absolutely shoving Southside around this third quarter, I don't think there much is.
Lawyer 3 at the top of the key, and that really has not been one of his strong shooting spots this season, Anthony, but he knocks down a three-pointer there.
Yeah, Fletcher Lawyer, that's actually his worst spot from beyond the arc. All the other ones are 50% or higher. As that one, he's 32% from right at the top of the key.
25 points for Fletcher Lawyer, 21 for Luke Goody, as Jordan swatted by Simmons out of bounds. Staying with the Archers, a lot of subs come in. Both Kapwicki brothers and Harmon check in for Homestead.
What an incredible performance by Caleb Kolpin and Andrew Leaper in this game. I have a dark horse in this. It's not just Luke Goody and Fletcher Lawyer, those two also performing.
Lawyer, nice move underneath the basket, scores with ease. Fletcher Lawyer, 27 points.
And there goes Fletcher Lawyer again, and he's just 3 points away from another 30-point game.
Nice play by Manning to throw it off of Caden Kapowicki, staying with Southside. Lawyer, look at that move. Just you can see why he's going to Purdue.
Yeah,
Moves like that.
He's just so quick and has such good ball movement. It's just impossible to guard him at some points.
Yeah, playing him in a one-on-one would probably not be very easy with all those nifty moves underneath the basket that he can do.
Just absolutely no chance either of us could stop him.
But yeah, I don't think either of us are really a good comparison. I would say probably most high school players probably couldn't stop him, much less two broadcasters. We probably couldn't beat him if he was playing 1-on-2 against us. 65-26, Homestead continuing to put up the points in this third quarter. The Southside only 5 points scored. Another three-pointer by Luke Goody now. He has 24 points. Lawyer 27, Goody 24. Not much else scoring for the Spartans. Kolping does have 6 points. Under 20 seconds to go in the third.
Homestead now with a legitimate shot of actually putting up 100 points. I mean, it's not crazy considering they had 30 points in the second quarter.
4 seconds, Goody. 3 seconds, Goody. At the buzzer! Oh, that was so close. Feels like every time he takes a long shot like that, it almost goes in. 68-26, Homestead rolling over Southside after 3 quarters. We'll be right back after this.
Rethink your limits.
Start of the fourth quarter. 68-26, Homestead leading over Southside. They outscore the Archers 23-5 in that third period of action as Homestead. Their best defensive performance of the season was the second game of the season against Warsaw, only allowing 31. I think Southside's probably going to score more than 5 points in this quarter. But Homestead has been a very good defensive performance this game.
I mean, you never know. Southside only had 5 points in the second quarter. It's not impossible that Homestead holds them to only 5 in the fourth.
Yeah, Homestead outscoring Southside 23-5 in the third quarter. As the Spartans will improve to 3-0 in the SAC. And you look at Homestead against SAC teams as Goody knocks down the shot right there now with 26 points. And counting for Luke Goody, 70 points now on the board for the Homestead Spartans. Three-pointer by Johnson, that's good. Maybe he can get something going now with 9 points. But Homestead against SAC opponents, Southside one of 3 teams. And we're talking in the regular season since joining the SAC. So I know they've played some SAC teams in the postseason. And in the SAC Holiday Tournament, we're not going to count those games as a foul against Southside. But just talking strictly regular season games, Southside one of 3 teams that Homestead has not lost to since they joined the conference when it expanded to 10 teams in the 2015-16 season. They're 5-0 against the Archers heading into this game.
Looks like Homestead's going to extend to 26-10 against Southside. It's now Fletcher Lawyer with 30 points on the game for the 4th time this season.
Ashton Johnson starting to heat up a little bit too late as Harmon lost it out of bounds. case you're wondering, the other few teams that Homestead unbeaten against, they're 6-0 against Lures as they beat them earlier this season, and 5-0 against Concordia. They're 5-1 against Dwenger, 4-1 against Northside, and 4-1 against Wayne. Then 3-2 against, not really surprised here, Snyder, Northrop, and Carroll. We're just talking about regular season games for Homestead since the conference expanded to 10 teams in 2015. 16 Lawyer, the nice pass to Kyron Kapwicki. His first points in a little while, did not score the last game against North Central. A sophomore transfer from Carmel High School, averaging 3 points per game. Season high 11 points against New Haven. Manning able to draw a foul as Southside some free throws. So one more point by Southside, and this will not be the fewest points that Homestead has allowed all season.
And I think the biggest difference maker between Homestead this year and Homestead last year has to be Fletcher Lawyer coming to Homestead and the Kapwicki brothers also coming to Homestead. Just a major difference and just made this team shine.
So not even 2 full minutes in as Homestead checks out their top 2 scorers. Goody finishes with 26 and Lawyer finishes with 30 as Markham and Swing in the game now for the Spartans. Free throw is good by Manning, who now has 4 points on the game.
It's almost a little bit surprising that Luke Goody's coming out. Homestead, I believe, could have had a shot at having 2 people with over 30 points for, I believe, the first time this season.
Yep. At least in one single game. We saw the last game that close to that, but Lawyer finishes with 30 and Goody finishes with 26 as Kyron Kapwicki drills a 3-ball, now with 5 points. Johnson, right corner, deep 2, rebound Swing. Grady Swing, a junior. Expect him to play a lot of minutes next year for this Homestead team as the Spartans do graduate 5 seniors.
Well, the 5 seniors that are graduating, Grant Simmons and Luke Goody, will be a couple of major losses to Homestead next season. But I don't know, them graduating, it might not be that big of a deal if they are able to come home with a state championship this season.
Some of the other seniors for Homestead, Quinn Harmon and Caleb Colpine. So Luke Goody, Grant Simmons, and Caden Kapwicki as well. So that's the 5. Austin Jordan now with another basket, up to 17 points.
It's also important to note who Homestead won't be losing. They won't be losing Andrew Leeper. They won't be losing Grady Swing. They won't be losing Fletcher Lawyer, who's just absolutely had a breakout season.
Jordan again to the basket. That's missed. And Austin Jordan has really had a good game against Homestead. He's had 17 points, above his season average. That is 14 points as a season average. 17 is above that as Harmon, top of the key, knocks down a 3-pointer. His second made 3 of the season, only shot 13% from the arc heading into this game as Quinn Harmon 6 points after having a scoreless game against North Central on Saturday.
Quinn Harmon, first points he's made since the first quarter buzzer beater, and just nothing but net right there.
Jordan, more free throws for him. 58% coming into this game at the line. Approaching the midway point of this 4th quarter. That's short. Sub in, that's Rue for Southside. He checks in for King. As one of Southside's top players, do want to mention, Cadell Wallace, a freshman, is not playing in this game. At least we haven't seen him check in yet. Appears to be on the bench. So the Archers are without one of their top players. Also, Xavier and Hollister not playing in this game as well for Southside. Johnson draws the foul again.
Homestead, I think what Homestead's doing right now is just showing their depth that they have. They're continuing to dominate Southside with their backup team in. None of their starting 5 are in right now, and they're just continuing to dominate this court.
Free throw is good by Johnson with 12 points. He had a bit of a slow start, but coming around now with 12 points and can be 13 with a made free throw here.
Update on Austin Jordan for Southside. We were talking about him earlier in the game. He's up to 18 points. Still needing only 4 to tie his season high.
.335 to go in this game. Markham. Homestead will improve to 12-0 with this win over Southside, and the Archers will fall to 3-5, by far their largest loss this season. A three-pointer by Caden Kapuiki. That's his first basket of the game. Shooting 50% from 3 coming into this game, only averages 2.4 points per game.
Kapuiki twins having a live three-point contest in this game.
Yes, Caden Kapuiki and Kyron both transfers from Carmel. Caden a senior and Kyron a sophomore. As Harmon and Caden Kapuiki, 2 seniors, out of the game. As Schultz now and Ezecudo in for Homestead. Minus Kyron Kapuiki. This is basically 4 of Homestead's 5 starting JV lineup, as you have Ezecudo, Schultz, Swing, and Markham out there. And those 4 players, Ezecudo, Schultz, Swing, and Markham, will play a big role next season, Anthony, as all of those 4 players are juniors, as Southside with some more free throws coming.
And there you go, that right there, that's Homestead's depth. And Homestead, they also have a good JV core as well. Not just the starters on JV, they also have a good backup core, and even the freshman team is looking pretty good this season. So Homestead has just so much depth on their team. It doesn't look like they're going to be going away from the top of the SAC anytime soon.
Free throw missed by Thomas. 1 of 3. Now 2 of 4 on the season from the free throw line. Gets that one. Jerry Thomas, his first point of the game. 2:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Homestead at 84 points right now. Let's see how many this last off the bench can score. I guess Kyron Kapuiki does play quite a few minutes off the bench. We'll see how much this JV starting 4 or 5 players get to score for this Homestead team. Swing a 3. In and out. Schultz somehow comes away with it.
Homestead passing the ball around quite a bit now, burning off the clock.
Yeah, 2 solid football players out there. Max Schultz stepped into a starting role as he scores right there for Homestead. Max Schultz played quite a big role on the Homestead defense in the football season. Led them, I wouldn't say single-handedly, but as a unit, part of the defense, led them to a SAC title and a sectional championship during the football season. As Southside miscommunication there out of bounds, you also have number 34, Grady Swing, who is likely to be the starting quarterback next year, replacing Evan Ormersby, who's a senior right now. But we'll see. That's still quite a ways away.
It's like that quarterback position is going to come down between Grady Swing and Peyton Slavin, sophomore.
Coming up, player interview, final stats and stars, and game analysis. Homestead fans getting into it. The bench. Offensive foul called on Jerry Thomas. That's his first foul in the team's 5th. 1:20 to go in the 4th.
Grady Swing was able to pick up the charge. Again, Homestead so good at drawing fouls.
Ifani Ezecudo scores. His brother, walk-on at Pitt, listed on their roster, Oni. He was a really good player for Homestead a few years ago. Led them to a sectional championship, I believe in 2018, I want to say.
If Grady Swing and Luke Markham are able to get points, I believe the only person on Homestead that will not score points tonight will be surprisingly Grant Simmons.
That is an interesting stat, Anthony. It's actually a bit shocking, but it shows how good this Homestead team is. They can have their leading scorer from the last game not score a single point and yet still win by almost 50 points. Coach Johnson does a nice job with this group as the free throw, that's no good. Rebound to Swing.
He said, Coach Johnson, you talk about how he does so well with this group, and it shows. He has a 70%. He's won 70% of his games in his coaching career. It's just in his 22nd year at Homestead. It's really impressive what he's been able to do.
Markham scores underneath. 45 seconds to go, 9-40. Homestead close to tying their season high in points scored, 94 against the Lures. One of their best defensive performances of the season, as that was nothing but net for Robert Gatson. Only shot 33% from three heading into that. Shot underneath, Swing. I think they just want to get him some points. 17 seconds to go.
There you go. Can you believe it? It becomes official. The only player to not score on Homestead today was one of the trio, the third leading scorer for Homestead, Grant Simmons. That's just surprising.
Yeah, and they're still winning 92-43. 7 seconds to go in this game, as Homestead will win 92-43 and improve to 3-0 in the SAC and 12-0 overall. Just a really great game for the Spartans in this game, Anthony. As now let's send it down to sideline reporter Jenna Lane in just a moment, who will be joined by one of Homestead's star players, Fletcher Lawyer.
Thanks, Matt. I'm here with junior Fletcher Lawyer. And so offense took off in the second quarter, and you never looked back. How do you feel about the team's play tonight?
We played great. It was a SAC game, so we knew we had to come out ready to play, and we really knocked down a lot of shots, and just really getting that lead up and getting ready for Tuesday.
And 30 points for you tonight. How much fun are you having out there with your teammates?
It's a lot of fun. Everyone's moving the ball, everyone's having fun, everyone's scoring, and it's really great just to get wins.
And up to 12-0 on this season now. How happy are you with the team's play halfway through this season?
Very happy. We're growing each and every game and just ready to play each and every night, and we got to come out ready to play Tuesday and get another win.
Yeah, so big game on Tuesday against Blackhawk. How excited are you for that one?
Pretty excited. We got a big competition. We get to play Caleb, and it's a pretty good team we got, so we got to get a big win.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Matt, back to you.
Thanks, Jenna. And Fletcher Lawyer, he's really excited for that game Tuesday against Blackhawk. Homestead wins 92-43. We'll be back with a post-game show right after this here on Homestead live from Homestead High School.
Thank you so much for coming out this evening, folks. That's a safe trip back home tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Rethink your limits.
This is the OPS post-game report.
Welcome back live to Homestead High School here in the post-game show. As Homestead wins it 92-43, Anthony, we just saw a complete dominant performance by Homestead, well above their
This is
season
the
average.
OPS post.
Now looking at
This is the
some of the
OPS
stats as
post-game
this Homestead
report.
team, they really played well in this game. Only 2 points away from their season high, which is 94 against Bishop Luers. Fletcher Lawyer, he put up 30 points, which was his fourth 30-plus point game of the season, and Luke Goody had 26 points. And you talked about it quite a bit throughout the broadcast, but the only player not to score in this game for Homestead was Grant Simmons, who put up 32 points the previous game. That just shows how good this Homestead team can be.
I think running up the score today, getting 92 points, I think what they were doing today, they were sending a message. And just definitely, they shot 58% from the field. They shot 50% from three-point range. That's just incredible. That's really good. Homestead, they're 39% going into this game. Obviously, that will improve. Homestead, they were sending a message this game, definitely, to Blackhawk Christian, Lawrence North, like, hey, we are ready for you. We are going to show up.
Southside 17 turnovers, Homestead 5. A big reason why the Spartans able to get this big of a win. And any final thoughts from you, Anthony?
I just think Homestead, they look ready to play. They, as Fletcher Lawyer said, they are excited about this game against Blackhawk Christian. They're excited about playing their friends from club basketball, and they are ready to go.
Join us Tuesday night as 2 of the top 5 teams in the state face off against each other. Number 3 Blackhawk Christian travels across town to take on number 4 Homestead. Can Luke Goody and Fletcher Lawyer slow down Caleb First and company? Join us Tuesday at 7:15 for a special pregame show leading up to the final time Goody and First go head-to-head in high school. Tip-off is set for approximately 7:30 on Tuesday. Signing off from Homestead High School for Anthony Gary and the rest of the Homestead Live crew, I'm Matt Saalfrank. We'll see you right back here on Tuesday night.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.